what's up, guys? Welcome to Unstable Opinions. They told me to do an intro, but I'm not good at this. So, Gabe, here you go.
Hello, everyone, and I guess it's back to me. Welcome back to, of course, Unstable Opinions. My name's Gabe. You just heard Nick. I'm here also with Chris and Tristan.
Hey, it's me, Chris.
How's it going? It's me, Tristan.
We did not make him do the intro.
Yeah,
he
said before we started, he said, "Let me do the intro." I was like, "I don't know if I trust you to do the intro." He's like, "I want to do the intro," and then his intro.
I feel like I'm being butchered here. A lot of lies going on.
His intro was intentionally about how bad he is.
Victimizing himself.
He's trying to sabotage the show just to get himself ejected from the podcast.
But hey, he's back. And
Yeah.
For now.
This is
we've sort of missed you.
So, like my beautiful baby boys have said, this is
Wait, hold on a second.
Unstable Opinions podcast. This is the first time we've all four of us been together since last year when we did I don't even remember what the last one. Well, we did a quarantine episode.
We did
like three quarantine episodes.
Did we actually upload the quarantine episode?
Yes, we did.
Some of them.
And then so then the last one we did was WandaVision, but Nick couldn't be here for that one, so it was just me, Tristan, and Gabe.
He had a cameo.
What a good
Yeah, he did have a
intro
cameo though.
That was a great intro. Editing by your boy.
Skinny
Filming by me.
Music by me, and Nick was there.
Cameo by
Nick
Nick.
made a
Had a
special
cameo.
appearance.
Yeah. So luckily we were all four able to get together again today, and I actually wasn't even like thinking about when we were gonna do it again, honestly. But then yesterday, Tristan just sent to our group chat. He was like, "So we're doing a podcast on the Snyder Cut, right?"
Yeah.
So
I didn't even think about it, but honestly, yeah.
As soon as the credits started rolling, I was like, why hasn't anyone brought up plans
Me
on
and
doing
Chris,
a podcast
me
on
and
this?
Chris talked about the whole movie while we were watching it.
yeah, we did watch it
We
together.
took, like,
I
3
was
pee
honestly
breaks.
I was honestly thinking that like the SpongeBob movie was gonna be our next
Oh
one.
no.
Like the new one.
I don't
Is
have
that
Paramount
out?
Plus. So.
Yeah, but you need Paramount Plus to watch it.
That's not
So
happening.
no one can watch it.
Yeah.
We can get
Unless
it
you've got
out
like a
of the way.
VPN and you go to like
Unless you have
European
V-Bucks.
Netflix or
I see,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, this is the Unstable Opinions podcast. Now we used to do this bi-weekly. Now it's just kind of whenever we get the chance, whenever we have the chance to talk about something cool. The four of us, or hopefully the four of us most of the time, get together. We talk about movies and games and all that kind of stuff. Last time we talked about WandaVision. We brought the show back after a pretty long hiatus. We don't really have a set schedule yet, but if everything goes according to plan, this episode will hopefully be out. We're recording this on Monday. It'll hopefully be out by Friday, and that'll actually be 2 weeks since the last one, I think.
So
Actually,
bi-weekly
maybe.
schedule is back, guys.
Bi-weekly
Bi-weekly
is-
schedule
No,
back.
Accidentally
we don't have
bad.
enough stuff yet. Hold on.
No
Hold on. I mean, if we schedule the
No,
SpongeBob
the next one-
watch.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I was gonna say
we
we've
can
got a few weeks to fill before the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode can happen.
Let's
True.
go.
So
put in the comments what you want us to cover in our next
Anything.
bi-weekly
and
podcast.
and if it's SpongeBob, we'll watch it.
yeah, only if.
Only if it's SpongeBob. But recommendations are welcome.
But until we get the chance to talk about SpongeBob today,
Let's talk about the Snyder
we're
Cut.
talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League,
The good one.
otherwise known
Justice
as
League.
the Snyder Cut,
Justice.
which apparently Tristan had never heard the phrase Justice League
It's
before
the
I said it
funniest thing
in
to me
passing today.
I'm sorry.
It just
It's
means
just
he
funny.
wasn't being kept up on Twitter for the past 4 years.
I mean,
it
I don't either.
just works.
So, I guess, obviously, I have a feeling that pretty much everyone who listens to this episode knows what Zack Snyder's Justice League is.
Spoilers.
Just in case
Lots of
you're
spoilers.
unaware, though. Yes, this will be a spoiler podcast, but just in case you're unaware what the Snyder Cut is, it's obviously 2017. We got Justice League. Zack Snyder unfortunately had to exit the production. So Joss Whedon was brought in to apparently just finish up the movie. Like Warner Brothers was saying he was just going to help Zack Snyder finish his vision. And then they ended up reshooting a lot, adding in a lot of like unnecessary jokes, cutting out major elements of the plot to trim it
CGIing
from
mustaches.
yeah, to trim it down from 4 hours to 2. There was Henry Cavill's
To
CGI
trim
mustache.
everything but Henry Cavill's mustache.
Trim everything but the mustache.
He decided to single-handedly end his career.
But yeah, no, that one, that
was a movie
Justice League
that happened.
didn't go over well. So there was a fan campaign for Zack Snyder's vision to be released, and now we finally have that in the 4-hour-long Snyder Cut of Justice League. So right off the bat, I guess let's just give our brief initial thoughts before we get into more specific stuff.
No one's
and
going
spoilers.
to think that the original is better, right? I mean,
No.
I don't
I
think
don't
so. I didn't.
we can move
yeah.
that. We can.
That's the
move past
thing,
that.
though.
Yeah.
I waited. I have not seen.
Oh.
Did you really not?
I have never seen the 2017 version of Justice
I
League.
feel-
I wanted to see the Snyder Cut first
Yeah.
to see if the movie was still bad in my eyes, just to see if
So
people
wait,
thought this version was good.
Yeah, no, I've been
in
because I've been seeing
comparison.
people say like I've been watching a lot of people review this movie, and they're all like, I liked it. I don't know if I would like it as much as I do if it wasn't for the original being so bad.
I think I
Yeah,
would've.
but-
yeah, that's
It
that's the logic behind why I waited. I
This-
wanted to see
yeah.
the good version to see if it was good.
This movie is probably like the 4-hour cut. It's
Yeah.
probably one of my all-time favorite movies now. But there were problems with it that I would have complained about back then, and I still complain about now. And Chris knows what those are because we were watching the movie, and I was like, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Sounds like we have some things to talk about then.
Yeah. It's so funny that we he started. I didn't know that you hadn't seen Justice League. I guess.
The last DC movie I saw was Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were behind.
So wait,
Aquaman and Shazam are actually.
I
so
saw
good.
Aquaman.
The last one I saw, I mean, I out of all the ones I've seen, I haven't seen Man of Steel. I haven't seen Batman v Superman. I know what happens in those movies because at the time they came out, I was like, I was probably like 13 when did Man of Steel come out in 2013?
Something like
'Cause
that.
Batman
It was
v Superman
around
came
the
out-
same time as
Yeah,
Avengers.
because Batman v Superman came out in 2016, and
That was
I was obviously
Civil War. at
I
the
was
thought
same
it-
yeah.
time.
So I was
it
like
might have been
16.
around 2012, honestly. Maybe
2012
Man of
was
Steel?
probably Man of Steel.
But-
I think so.
Either way, I was like, I didn't really, I sort of planned to see those movies, but I didn't care enough about the specific plot to like actually wait until I've seen it to watch people's reviews of it. So I watched a bunch of YouTubers I like to talk about it, so I pretty much know like everything that happens in those movies, even though I've never seen them. So I wasn't like confused, but
And they always catch you up in the next installment anyway.
yeah.
I mean, Justice League didn't, but
Except for that one, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, because this
Forget
movie,
about
the Zack Snyder's, I guess we gotta be specific about. So we can just call the
Snyder Cut.
yeah. So this one's the Snyder Cut, and we'll call the other one Justice League. I guess.
Justice
Justice
But,
League versus the Snyder
like,
Cut.
Yeah, it starts obviously with the death of Superman from Batman v Superman. So what I was gonna say before was I think it's funny that Tristan mentioned that he hadn't seen the Justice League because I was gonna say right off the bat as my initial thoughts that this is absolutely the only version of Justice League that's worth seeing. Like,
Yeah.
and not even just because it's better than the other one, but because the other one is like a joke in comparison.
Yeah. It's
like
like
this is like honestly because I know I haven't seen Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, but I've seen Wonder Woman, I've seen Aquaman, I've seen Shazam, I've seen a bunch of the other ones, and I saw the original Justice League, I guess, when it came out in theaters, and it's like I didn't hate it, I thought it was okay, but like this after seeing this one, it's like it completely blows it out of the water. It's not only a much better movie, it's just a great movie in general, I think.
yeah, I don't know if I talked to you guys about Snyder Cut before it came out, but me and Tyler have been very critical on this movie. We thought it was going to be really bad because were you with me, Alan and Tyler, when we first saw it? Like, we hated it.
The original Justice
Yeah,
League?
Justice.
Oh, yeah, no, I was there, and there was a...
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
yeah, something was happening in the theater.
They were in the theater and they watched the
I've had a
movie.
really poor... I had really poor experiences watching most DC movies in theaters. Like, I mean, I won't go into detail, but,
Okay, but
when we saw Justice League in theaters, there was a couple in the back corner doing some things they shouldn't have been doing, right next to
more
our friend
details.
Alan, and that was
Yeah.
that was
Rip
extremely
Alan.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, but basically, me and Tyler, we've been really critical while looking at the trailers because they were very similar to the trailers 4 years ago. But as I was watching the movie, I was realizing those trailers 4 years ago were for the Snyder Cut, not for Joss.
Yeah, because there's so many shots in those trailers that were not in the Joss cut that they added back in because he either edited them or took them out entirely because he trimmed the movie, cut the movie in half.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too. When I saw Aquaman, I saw it by myself, and it was like a month after the movie had come out, so I thought the theater was gonna be mostly empty, but it was packed, and it was like noon on like a Monday.
Aquaman was
everyone wants
Aquaman.
Yeah, but it was packed, and then I sat in the back row, which was mostly empty, but like 20 minutes into the movie, this whole family comes in. Like 5 kids and like 3 adults.
Oh no.
And the mom, I'm assuming, like sits down next to me and she leans over to me. She's got like 2 giant buckets of popcorn in both of her arms, and she like leans over to me and she's like, how much did we miss? Like she's like whispering but like not lowering her voice. Like she's like, how much did we miss? And I was like 20 minutes. She's like, 20 minutes. And I was like it's just you know, when Aquaman's mom comes to the shore or whatever, I was like, you didn't miss much.
And then something explodes.
And then now they're having a conversation and something explodes. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that. Anyway,
that's terrible experiences.
Yeah, but the Snyder Cut I got to
That's
experience.
besides the point.
I got to experience in my own home. We got to. Thank God. I was saying before, even before I watched it, I was like, HBO Max is the best thing that could have happened to this movie. Because as much as I would love to see some of the moments from this movie in theaters, the fact that it was able to just be everything, like they didn't, like, you know, the Justice League 2017, Justice League, whatever, they cut stuff out to shorten it, but they also changed a bunch of stuff that was there. This one, it's just not only Zack Snyder's version of the scenes that we've seen before, but also so much more that elevates the movie. And there's some of it that's fluff that I feel like you could cut out to make
There's
it
a lot
shorter.
of extra context.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, if they're trying to make this the definitive cut where everything that Zack Snyder wanted to end up on the screen is there,
then it's going to be 4 hours.
4 hours long. Best
6
way to do it is
chapters.
on streaming.
The one thing with this movie that a lot of people don't realize because they didn't see any of the interviews is that he wanted this to be like a Lord of the Rings style, like Justice League trilogy. Like he wanted each movie to be 3 to 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And all of it to have
be
all
so
this
nice.
like long built out story.
You're talking about Man of Steel, Batman v Superman.
No, I'm
and...
talking
No,
about
he
wanted to make
there's
Okay.
going to be a super long like Justice League trilogy is what he wanted.
I know they were saying that this movie, like before, like when it was first conceived, was a 2-parter.
Yeah.
I remember back when it first got announced, I was like thinking like, oh, did they just do that because Infinity War is going to be 2 parts? But I guess that's another thing that I really like about the Snyder Cut is that I feel like it's just so much like it's pointless to compare it to Marvel because a lot of the stuff from Justice League and a lot of the DC stuff that came out around that time, a lot of people criticize, including me, criticize that stuff for like seeming like it's trying to rip off Marvel, like with the tone and the jokes and everything. And I feel like, especially since Joss Whedon did the original Avengers, Justice League is just him copying what he did and just not capturing any of what made it work. But
Like the "Do You Bleed" thing.
yeah. But just like little like corny moments like that. It's
when
like
the Flash falls on Wonder Woman.
yeah,
Glad that part's out.
And it's just like the Snyder Cut is just so, you know, obviously Zack Snyder's vision, like it's so different than anything that Marvel's done that it's pointless to compare it. The only ways I see that are really fit to compare it is just like some of the moments, especially in like the last third of the movie, that I was thinking like, I'm glad I'm watching this like in my chair, in my blanket. Like I can go to the bathroom whenever I want because it's 4 hours, but it's like, oh man, there's some moments in this that I would like kill to see on the big screen with a crowd. Like I mean, I guess if we're going into spoilers, we can kind of just jump around.
Superman.
Yeah, like, I mean, I thought, like, I mean, all the stuff with Superman coming back, like, I feel like, well, we'll get into, I guess, just more specific stuff like that later, but, just moments like, you know, Superman wearing the black suit, the Flash, like, slowing down time.
I feel like
and reversing it
reversing
after
time was like it was beautifully done.
Yeah.
If they couldn't do it any other way, like it was at that scene is at Endgame portal level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it was
That's exactly what I
while
thought.
Watching it.
Yeah.
Like it might be my top favorite scene. Like
Yeah.
Like because I'm a bigger DC fan than Marvel.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like Marvel movies, they've always been better. So I'm always watching more Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But seeing Flash do that and him being one of my favorite superheroes, I was like, this is fucking amazing. Because they would never do this in the TV show.
I mean, comparing it to the way that they did time travel and like the Flashpoint and stuff in the show, in the Flash show, it looks so much better.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see the Flash movie now that's slated for like 2023, because it's just gonna be him and hopefully a director that cares about his character.
That's all we can hope for.
Yeah, and like I mean, you feel that with this movie too, because in the original, he was just comic relief. It feels weird to call the 2017 one the original when the Snyder Cut is really the original.
It's really
Let's just say Justice and Snyder. Let's not say original.
Yeah. So in Justice League, he's like, you know, Cyborg and the Flash really don't have that much to do. Flash is just the comic relief.
What I just realized?
And Cyborg is just there.
Joss Whedon did Avengers 2, where he had Quicksilver being a civilian helper. Flash in Justice League was just a civilian helper.
And he's helping a Russian family, whereas it was Sokovia.
So
in
Joss
Avengers.
doesn't really know how to handle speedster characters, so he
No,
just kind of like sidelines
But-
them.
But it's like just characters in general. Like Cyborg's entire backstory got cut out, and like, you know,
that's
it's
a
like
shame.
him merging with the mother boxes and everything just didn't make any sense. The mother boxes in general didn't make any sense, to me at least in Justice League. But now they explain what they are instead of like the parademon exploding on the wall and having like the squares. It's just like. It's like, oh, you know, they actually have a much longer backstory sequence where you get to see it, the original battle when Darkseid first came to Earth.
Yeah,
Darkseid
like,
being in the movie at all is
crazy.
Like
these can we talk about these cameos that they get from random characters? That's my favorite.
They had freaking Ryan Choi and Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter.
Do you guys know who Ryan Choi is?
Yeah, he's Adam.
Okay.
Adam, yeah.
But no, Martian Manhunter is
Martian
insane.
Manhunter. I was like,
that was my favorite.
I didn't know Martian Manhunter, so it was good that I watched it with you and Tyler, so you could explain it to me.
Oh my gosh!
But because I would have been so confused otherwise.
Yeah, I didn't know. Who
He's got to be like my favorite DC character. He's insane.
Really?
He's like one of my top 5.
Yeah.
I have Flash, Batman, Nightwing, and Martian Manhunter.
He's at least the one that I want to see more of because they rarely put him in stuff. He's in like
the only thing
Supergirl.
Supergirl, yeah.
And I don't
and like a
like
lot of
Supergirl
the animated
as much.
DC stuff, but they put every character.
Yeah, I watched a lot of that, but this is more comparable to those things and like the comic stories than anything else. Like it's not. I wouldn't compare it to Marvel.
I do think that the Martian Manhunter and Supergirl is the best character they have in that show. Mostly because that show's kind of trash anyways.
Supergirl shined in the crossover, but I would.
Supergirl and Martian Manhunter both shined. The other characters not so much. Like, they messed up Brainiac.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
so in Justice League, because I never saw that, was I heard because I like watched some like comparison videos like earlier today just to prepare, but I guess they changed Deathstroke and like his intentions. Between
they did. It was a lot different. I mean, the entire like last third was very.
That's the thing is that like not only did Justice like obviously they're cutting a 4-hour movie down to 2 hours, and a lot of the changes in the 2-hour version were unnecessary and made to sort of make it more in line with what a Marvel movie would be like, and it just made it worse. But also a lot of the stuff they cut out that elevates this movie, I feel like it's just making this universe and these characters feel more fleshed out and exciting.
Big on identity.
Because it's like it feels like Flash and Cyborg didn't really matter that much in the original one, but now it's like you get more scenes with both of them. Cyborg's backstory, they go more into it, Flash is obviously a much more important character and has way more great moments than he did. But also on top of the existing characters being fleshed out, there's just a lot more DC cameos and Easter eggs that make it feel like this is actually like a big universe instead of just, the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then like sometimes the couple other characters they need to shoehorn in to make it the Justice League.
It feels actually like the start of something instead of just trying to start and finish.
That's the
make
most
money
painful thing to me, though. After watching the
Is
Snyder
we
Cut
don't
last
know
night,
if they're gonna be able to convince Warner Bros. To do more.
We know that they're not, because
they
people
said
have already
that
asked Zack Snyder about it, and he's like, "Yeah, everything like in the final act, the epilogue was like setting up for like a trilogy of movies that I highly doubt are ever going to happen." Like,
we highly doubted this would ever happen,
and especially now that Batfleck is gone and they're rebooting Batman, because the Deathstroke thing in the Snyder Cut was setting up a solo Batman movie that got canceled.
Well, I actually read something today was Affleck was talking to Warner Bros. Saying he will come back after Flash if they want him to.
Yeah,
they still have the opportunity to use. Like, he said he was so happy with Snyder Cut that he would come back.
Yeah. And that's good, but the thing is that the thing that concerns me is it's so disjointed now, everything with, like, there's obviously all the controversy with all the things that Ray Fisher was talking about, like the Justice League investigation. So, like, Ray Fisher, I think, got fired from the Flash movie for all that stuff, which is a huge shame, because Cyborg is one of the best parts of this Justice League movie, Snyder Cut. Yeah. And if they do anything with Cyborg in the future and it's not him, it's just gonna feel like a huge slap in the face.
I feel like someone needs to take DC away from Warner Bros.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's such a shame, because, like, I mean, there's that, obviously, maybe not being able to get back these actors to play these characters, but then there's also, like, like, I was reading, like, Warner Brothers interviews, they're like, yeah, we let Zack complete his vision, and it's like, that's kind of like, they're very vague about the future of DC. They won't say we're continuing with this.
Well, because they have no idea what to do at this point, because the fan base is going to dip on them if they don't do.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that, like, I'm hopeful that this story, and that's another exciting thing about this too, is that this movie was such an improvement that it's actually the first time I've ever been excited for a potential sequel to a DCEU movie.
Same.
But
that's
it's
crazy.
Also pretty much the only time so far that it's not confirmed if it's even going to happen.
And it's seeming more like it will not. It's just kind of like, this was done with the intent of something that is probably not going to be followed up on. Yeah. And that is so painful, because
Warner Bros. Can keep saying that, but there's going to be so much more fan backlash.
But that was Zack Snyder saying that, even though.
Yeah.
No, but he was saying he would do it, but he doesn't know.
I mean, of course he would. Yeah, but he's the one who has to battle.
But
Warner
he's saying
Bros.
that trilogy
like,
probably won't.
Yeah.
And that sucks, because, like, I have never been a DC fan growing up. Like, I did not read the comics. I didn't watch any DC shows growing up.
The only DC show I watched growing up was Teen Titans.
I didn't even watch that. I saw some of Teen Titans Go when that came out.
No.
I was like, man, this is weird. And
yeah, it is.
So I grew up on Marvel, but I always popped in on the DC movies. I saw The Dark Knight Rises when that first came out. I saw Man of Steel. I saw Batman vs Superman and all those, and Aquaman and Wonder Woman and everything. But it's like, they've never felt cohesive enough to really grab my attention, because they either come out like 4 years apart from each other, or they recast someone, or it's in a different timeline, or it's a different actor or a different story.
You should watch the DC animated movie.
The animated.
That is a beautiful.
Yeah, I know, but like, that's so not the same. Like, I'm interested in, like, I want the DC equivalent of the MCU.
Yeah, that's like, what the DC animated movie universe is.
It's
but
that's
like,
as good as it's gotten until the Snyder Cut. Basically,
But
I do think
that's what I mean.
Like,
the Snyder Cut gets me into it, and it got me into it.
Yeah.
And like, as I haven't seen Batman vs Superman since I saw it in theaters. Yeah. But as soon as the Snyder Cut opened, I was like, yo, this is Batman vs Superman. This is crazy. Like, I actually felt involved in it for once.
Yeah. And I think it was, I almost feel like the Snyder Cut has almost, like, retroactively changed how I feel about the DCEU. because obviously, I mean, I haven't seen Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, so I don't have solid opinions of my own about those movies. But the impression I always got from it was like they did one Superman movie, and then they immediately did a Batman and Superman crossover movie, and then they're doing Justice League. I mean, they did Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman was in Batman v Superman, so she was also introduced in that movie.
Yep.
It felt like they were rushing to set it up just so that they could have the Justice League to compete with the Avengers.
Yeah. Now you see that Snyder really did have a plan.
He really did have a lot to, like, he wanted to expand on the universe immensely, and I feel like it was okay that they skipped some of those solo movies, because those characters have been introduced time and time again.
And it's kind of the same thing with Spider-Man in the MCU, where like they didn't redo the origin story or anything. They put him in Civil War because everybody already knows who Spider-Man is. So it's like, you know, it's like with Batman, it's like they've done Batman's origin story.
Everyone's seen the Dark Knight.
Everybody knows who Batman is.
They've been doing a Flash TV show for 6 years. So.
Yeah,
there's been like 6 live-action Batman.
I think I watched Batman Begins like yesterday, just because. It was playing,
and
so
it's like,
why not?
Yeah, just in general, like I just feel like I think Justice League kind of continued that sentiment for me, where like they were rushing to set it up because of Cyborg and Flash not having fleshed out backstories or enough scenes to make them feel just like
shoehorned in,
not tacked on.
Later.
Yeah, exactly. But because they have more to do in this one. And just, you know, obviously, you know, the stuff with, like, I haven't seen the other movies, Batman being sort of the Nick Fury of both versions. There's just a lot of stuff about this movie because it's a better movie that I'm able to appreciate the larger scale of it as a whole. And plus, it's like, you know, it's a shame that we probably won't get any of the stuff about, like, the dystopian future and everything because...
That's... Like all I want.
That's
that
supposed
was
to be
so,
Justice League 3.
That was so cool.
And I want to see where like what happens with that so bad. And it's like obviously, you know, Flash in the dystopian future is wearing the suit that he wears when he goes back in time to talk to Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman. So like it's like stuff like that. It feels like it's becoming more cohesive as the movies continue. But that, now that the movies aren't going to continue anymore, now I'm disappointed.
Everything after that is now been. It's literally Woody's finest hour.
Yeah,
it's literally the DCEU is just Woody's roundup. They cancel it right when it starts getting good.
Yep. It's so crazy to me how fast my opinion turned around after watching this, just because I like not long before the Snyder Cut came out, I was saying like, yeah, you know, I'm not that excited about this. I'm happy that fans who wanted this are going to be getting it.
And then you watch.
Now you're a fan that
and
wants
I was like, you know, they're doing the Batman with Robert Pattinson. That looks great. Like I'm ready for DC to just lay the DCEU to rest and move on and do other things. But now I don't want them to anymore.
Now I want it back.
I want it to continue.
Good.
Yeah.
See, but the thing about DC is they can do that because in the DC live action TV shows, they've confirmed that all of their live action's connected.
Yeah.
So
and I wish Marvel would do that. But
they can easily say, well, this Batman's from Earth 4.
Yeah.
See, they got way early into the multi-dimensional stuff.
They even brought that up. They said multiverse a few times.
Well, yeah, because
the Snyder Cut.
They do
like
that
the
in
anti-life
Flash.
equation.
Yep.
Like
in the Flash show, they're on Earth. What Earth? Like,
Flash. All the CW shows are Earth 1.
Earth 1
and 2 is like Stargirl and the newer shows.
Yeah, and then they have crossover.
I think
like
Green
characters
Lantern
coming from
show has its own Earth too.
Yeah.
So it's...
Oh yeah. So I heard that that Snyder actually really wanted Ryan Reynolds to come back as Green Lantern.
Oh my god.
But Warner Brothers wouldn't let it happen.
He really wanted a Green Lantern.
So then
probably because he made fun of it constantly
probably.
as
Deadpool. He didn't want Ryan Reynolds. He wanted a Jon Stewart.
No, he wanted Ryan Reynolds. That was a no-no. So then he had to settle for not Hal Jordan because they wanted the continuity of Hal Jordan being Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I mean, they could easily just say that was a different universe.
Or
exactly.
So then he tried to get the other one, and then that was still a no. So the studio really did not want him to have any Green Lanterns, but that was like the one missing piece. That
and in the Justice League, there's just like the Green Lantern cameo is like so much smaller. like if I remember right, it almost is like the DC logo at the beginning of the movie. It's like the flashback in Justice League is the equivalent of that.
Yeah.
Like just you see him, like you see Green Lantern like in the background or something for a few seconds.
Yeah.
But like in this one, you actually get to see him fight a little bit before he gets killed.
I really appreciate that entire scene out. That's so many actors they just cut from the movie.
Yeah. And there's so many characters. They had the gods fighting with a Green Lantern, fighting with
Darkseid.
Yeah, fighting against Darkseid.
And they cut the entire thing out. It's like, how can you film that and just cut it?
It's
maybe they didn't film that.
No, they
did.
They did.
I think the only additional photography they did for the Snyder Cut is the future sequence at the end of the movie.
It's the last part of the movie.
They did the extra shooting to play with my heart like that.
Yes.
To tease me with something so
and it's like
cool.
Ben Affleck came back to be Batman just for that scene.
If they have any hope of making the future movies, they have to show that part.
Yeah, they had to
so that it would work.
So they had to put that end in there to convince Warner Bros. To if they ever wanted to. It's like, here, we set this up. Now we just have to finish it if you let us.
It's up to you to pick it up.
Yeah. Now fans are begging for it. We're begging.
I'm begging, and I wasn't even a DC fan before this.
It is comforting, kind of knowing that obviously it's like finishing up. I mean, it was $70 million, but finishing up an older cut of a movie is less of a expense, I guess, than greenlighting another $500-600 million movie just because the fans want it. But again, what the fans want is probably what's going to make the most money. Justice League did not make nearly as much money as they wanted it to, largely because it wasn't what fans wanted.
Then here's the Snyder Cut finally coming out, and everyone's losing their mind.
Everyone's losing their mind. I think it's comforting, not only from Warner Brothers' perspective of oh, this movie was a huge success, we should probably continue this storyline, but also with the DC multiverse, they could literally do whatever they want with it, and it's that's more than I can say for Marvel, because we're still over here hoping that Toby and Andrew are in the new Spider-Man movie.
It actually becomes a multiverse.
We thought we were getting a multiverse with WandaVision, and then it ended up being Ralph Boner. So
they just keep hinting.
I think Batfleck is actually just Ralph Boner, and Robert Pattinson Batman is the real Batman.
Well, I didn't finish Wonder Woman 1984.
I never even saw
it.
You don't have to watch.
Isn't there a cameo from the woman who played her Wonder Woman in the old TV show at the end?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that. I don't think
that part was the only cool part of that movie.
I watched half an hour of Wonder Woman 1984 and I decided
Pedro Pascal was the only good part of that movie.
Yeah. Also true.
And just the life is good, but it could be better memes.
I do.
Yeah, but that movie was garbage. That was a Justice League style movie.
Oh,
it was trying to be a Marvel movie, but failing.
Yeah, basically, it's not that good. Yeah. I would stick with the original Wonder Woman, and then Aquaman and Shazam
and the Snyder Cut.
I heard Birds of Prey was good, but I never got to see it.
I never got to see that.
I've seen it twice. It's the only DCEU movie that I've seen twice. It's fine. It's nothing incredible, but it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in terms of the Snyder Cut, so we've talked about we've talked about a lot of stuff surrounding the Snyder Cut and sort of the meta aspect of it. But we've also talked about obviously they gave more characters more to do. There's a lot more to the story. I kind of want to talk a little bit more about that, because we were kind of saying there's for starters, there's so many cool sequences that even if they were going to cut out some of the major story stuff to shorten this movie down to 2 hours, I feel like they should have kept some of those sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially all the stuff with Flash. Because, Flash, all he does in the original cut Justice, is he saves the Russian family from the city, even though the city was abandoned because of a nuclear accident.
Yeah, but they're there.
Wait, how was there a city in Chernobyl?
It was
I don't
weird.
think it was an accident there. in the Justice, I think it was just abandoned for the most part, other than those people. But
they didn't talk about any radiation.
All Flash
in Justice League, it was an actual town that was filled with people, and it was originally just supposed to be an empty city.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, all Flash was good for in Justice is just saving them, and like he brings Superman back to life. But the cool thing is that like, obviously there's the scene where he reverses time after the heroes lose, which is awesome.
Really
and
cool.
It's like that was before Infinity War, when nobody really like knew. I mean, some comic fans might have anticipated like Thanos winning at the end of that movie, but it's like the Snyder Cut, if it was released as intended, that would have came out. We would have been
saying that Infinity War was copying
exactly.
Yeah.
And like, just that whole sequence where he's like, the ground is like rebuilding itself under his feet and everything.
Oh, seeing Cyborg come back, like Cyborg
and Superman. You can see like Superman's skeleton start to get meat put back on it, and then skin, and then it's Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's back.
And they set it up earlier in the movie that he can do that because when he brings back Superman, he's late. And the box is like too much in the water for it to work.
And it like
but then
back up.
For like 1 second, he reverses time and it lifts back up, and that's the purpose of the picture, like the one picture of Superman's dad. Because I was even saying like, what's the point of this picture? I just dropped it in the water. But like it's there to show you that like it's rising out of the water. It wouldn't just do that. The mother box is kind of a weird thing.
It could,
the picture wouldn't do that, so like it's that kind of like sets up that Flash can reverse time, and then in the Joss cut, it's just he makes it in time, and then like obviously there's all the stuff about the post-apocalyptic future that's just non-existent. I think they just wanted it to be less dark.
And also they didn't want to like bow on top.
Yeah, and they didn't want to set up a future of the Snyderverse because they didn't really feel like they were going to continue it at that point because they didn't think it was working.
Yeah. There's all the like Cyborg struggles with humanity and stuff.
Yeah.
His father.
Yeah.
Did we even get to see any of that like internal Cyborg that he had?
No,
that was all new, right?
Yeah, all new.
And then his fight against the mother box.
Here, let's use the correct terminology. It's not new. It was cut.
It's all cut. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like there's some stuff like the Flash stuff where you're just like, this is the coolest shit like that I've seen in like any comic book movie, and Joss Whedon or whoever else looked at it and was like, yeah, we should get rid of that.
Too complicated.
Like, Flash saving the family is better.
The Flash is supposed to be the most powerful.
He is insanely powerful.
He is supposed to be like one of the main characters, and they completely trash his character.
Yeah, eventually goes faster than Superman.
CW verse, which isn't it isn't well loved. The Flash is still the best character in the DC animated universe. He's still the best character. And then they go to this movie universe. They're like, let's just take everything good from him. And make him a pickup boy. Yeah,
but that's the thing is there's stuff. I feel like there's two categories of stuff that got cut from the movie. That stuff like with the Flash is like this literally just makes the movie way cooler, and getting rid of it, like even if you could easily recontextualize stuff like that and make it work, and it would make the movie way more exciting, but they got rid of it for reasons that I can't comprehend. And then there's the stuff like Cyborg's backstory, or all the stuff with Darkseid and Steppenwolf answering to Darkseid, and that's his motivation.
And the mother boxes.
Yeah, where it's like, yeah, you could technically cut it, but it's just stuff that makes the movie's story more interesting.
Yeah.
And it makes it make more sense. Like, it's like, there are ways, I guess, that you can recontextualize things. I feel like it's less so with Cyborg, because you kind of need to care about him, and he plays such a big part in the movie, especially with merging with the mother boxes and how his cybernetic body works, that you feel like not explaining that, just the movie makes less sense because of it, and he's just not as interesting of a character. But I don't know, I feel like there's the stuff that I feel like doesn't make any sense to change, and then there's the stuff that's like, I guess you could change that, but it just makes the movie not as interesting or memorable.
All in all, they shouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there are the things that they kept from Justice League and that was in Snyder Cut were some of the worst parts, in my opinion. Like the Amazon, that whole scene is my least favorite part in the whole Justice League.
Which one? The part when they're defending the mother box?
Yeah, because like it was a lot better in Justice League because it was shorter, in my opinion.
Yeah, that did drag on a while.
They had so much slow motion and so much stuff going on. It's like the movie's about the Justice League.
Yeah.
Not about.
Yeah. I feel
we
like
know he's gonna get the mother boxes.
Yeah, and this world already was built in Wonder Woman, so we don't need to see 30 minutes here.
The thing is the pacing of this is the only problem I have. So I was paying attention to like maybe in the last half of the movie. Because
the first half of the movie is a lot of build up, and I see where a lot of it matters, but some of it just shouldn't be there.
It's
like every time they do a slow motion Aquaman rip his shit off.
It makes sense that like the Flash scenes are slow motion, but why does it have to be slow motion when like Batman is like pulling out a gun and then like he shoots and there's a slow motion barrel coming out?
Or like Superman is just reaching his hand out to lift Batman up a ledge at the end of the movie.
Super slow-mo.
Like there was a lot of slow-mo that had no reason.
Yeah, there were a lot of gratuitous superhero shots as well.
Like, and I feel like it's just like you were saying with there being a problem with the pacing. The beginning does kind of feel like it's all good stuff. Like I enjoy watching it. I wasn't bored at any point, despite this being 4 hours long, which is an achievement.
Yeah,
but it does
feel like 4 hours.
Yeah, but it does kind of feel in the beginning, at least, like for the first hour and a half or so, like just a series of scenes without much flow in between them, because everyone is kind of doing their own thing, and they all have their own stories going on, and all their individual stories, other than like the Amazon stuff, because it's like there aren't as many characters that we care about there, there's like Diana's mom.
Yeah, Diana's mom is the only character you really care about in the Amazon.
Yeah, but it's like all the other stuff. It's like they have characters and stuff that we like care about and we like watching them, but it's like they don't really flow together until the Justice League actually comes together.
That's why like the last half is my favorite part.
Yeah,
the first part, like it's a lot of the Justice League like things that they kept are in the first part. So it's sort of like
what I noticed is they kept the first 2 hours of the movie, shortened it, and then threw the final battle at the end, which wasn't even the final battle. It was like Avengers Age of Ultron.
I keep getting phone notifications.
Apparently our phones are not on silent.
I never have my ringer on, except for right now.
But what I was saying is it felt like deja vu for the first half of the movie. All over. And then I started getting really excited.
I just don't understand why out of everything they cut out of those first 2 hours, it was the Flash and Cyborg who needed the building more than Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. Yeah.
They needed to feel like a real part of the team,
Yeah. I will say though,
I feel like they got there though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like out of that beginning part, there's some stuff later on throughout the whole thing. There's just like bits that you can recognize, like even after like the initial thing, there's like when Superman comes back to life. I just think the stuff that carries over between both cuts, it's better in the Snyder cut because the tone is more consistent. There isn't like obvious moments where like they decided there needed to be more jokes. Like there's a scene. I mean, obviously there's like the infamous like Flash brunch moment, but then there's also like when they're rescuing the scientists that have the stench of the mother boxes on them, and they're like making jokes when like people are getting killed by Steppenwolf.
It was it was a lot more serious. This take.
Yeah. You can't really write Marvel movies or Marvel movie tier jokes into an already shot, takes itself seriously DC movie.
Yes,
like that does not flow.
And I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day. It was about like how much more different the MCU is, and most DC characters. Because like Marvel characters, a lot of like Spider-Man, he's a very like more childish hero. He can make jokes all he wants. But when you go into the DC universe, it's a lot of more of these godlike characters that are trying to become human, but they have a lot darker history and darker like storylines.
Yeah.
So when you try to push this like Marvel attitude, which like Tony Stark, he's this snarky billionaire. Thor, he's a funny Asgardian. But when you try to push this same humor onto these godlike characters that don't want to be gods, it doesn't work.
It's all how they're written. Like Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne are like the same as people.
But like Bruce,
but they're not
one is
the
Iron
same
Man
hero.
And one is Batman.
Yeah, so they have completely different like,
and like you can
humor even. Like
you
Batman wouldn't crack jokes as much as Tony Stark
like
would.
even Superman, like you would think that he can be a funny guy, but his whole planet was blown up.
Exactly.
Like they all have these super dark like stories. Barry's mom was killed. Like
his dad's
very,
like stuck in
yeah,
jail.
his dad's stuck in jail. Cyborg's whole family died. So it's like they all have these dark stories.
And Flash is the comic relief.
Yeah, Flash is the comic relief.
Out of all the DC characters, I think the only ones that share like a sense of humor is like Flash, just because of his
and like Shazam
personality, and Shazam,
because
Shazam's a kid. Yeah. And they could be like godlike characters. You know, Shazam has powers from the gods, and Barry is one of the strongest characters in the entire universe. But you'd only expect it from them.
Yeah.
Barry's interactions with Cyborg in the Snyder Cut were really funny, though. Like,
yeah.
They did have a good chemistry, and it worked for them.
Yeah,
the comedy works when they have good chemistry, and like it makes sense.
The funniest scenes to me are when Aquaman like is saved by someone and he's like, "My man."
Yeah.
I love that.
Or like it was when they were digging out Superman, I think. And it was again Flash and Cyborg having like a whole dialogue thing, and they have a really good. If I wanted them to be more together in the Flash movie, so
they were gonna be.
It's even more disappointing to hear
they were gonna be
that. Yeah.
But
even though Cyborg actor did nothing wrong.
But I think aside, like you guys were saying, like, you know, obviously it makes sense for, especially just not even just for the characters and their backstories, but for the universe and the way it's built up to this point. It makes sense for the tone to be darker and for it to generally be more serious. And I felt that, especially with, I think that's one of the things. I don't want to say it's copied from Marvel, because it's not. It was done at the same time as Thanos, but something that gave me similar vibes to Thanos was Steppenwolf in this movie, because Steppenwolf in Injustice was just so not intimidating. He didn't make any sense. His motivations didn't make sense. He looked awful.
I looked him up, and holy crap, dude, what was that?
It's just not. It's
just a
contest.
dude with a helmet.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It just looks like a pasty like guy with a helmet on. He's just bad CGI. This Steppenwolf is actually intimidating, and his face looks so much better. And he actually you guys were talking about, like, you know, the Amazonian fight. I think the thing that I think saves that scene for me, because obviously there's not a lot of characters that we really care about, but just the fact that Steppenwolf in that sequence is so much scarier than he was.
Like as much as I don't like that whole, like, I think it's like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like a 25-minute bit.
It shows how strong he is.
Yeah.
And how threatening he is to
And
Amazon.
On top of that, not only is he intimidating, he answers to a guy that's even more intimidating than him.
Yeah.
Like he's very scared of Darkseid, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, I think that as like with everything they did in the Amazonian scene, the way that they did it in Atlantis was a lot better, because it was like shorter, quicker. They saw him like beat up the people. He threw the guy against the rock, and you saw like his head almost get smashed in.
Like, even though I would have rather to see more Atlantis in it.
I would have wanted to, but I feel like that's what they should have done in.
Yeah. Maybe not, like, because this was like the first, like, we're gonna show how strong he is, but maybe cut 10 minutes off of it.
Yeah.
Not make it a super short scene.
Yeah.
But all that, like, slow motion, like when Diana's mom's like sliding under. why'd you make it slow motion? That makes no sense.
That Indiana Jones moment.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then the other Indiana Jones moment when she whips out a lasso, but it's just a regular one, and she tries to like yeet the what was it? She had the box, I think, and she like tied it to an arrow or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think fixing some pacing things, it could have been like maybe 3 hours.
Yeah, the only times I thought there should have been slow motion was either when Superman was going, Flash, or Wonder Woman. Because they're the fastest three characters.
Exactly, yeah.
But even then, like, you know, but like I said this earlier, you know, obviously, and especially, you know, if they were going to release this in theaters at some point, like, it would have needed to be shorter, and it could be shorter. But, you know, if they're going for this is the definitive version, everything that was planned to make it to the screen is here, then I think it's just cool that it was just able to happen that way. Yeah. And like I think they were gonna do it as a miniseries too, and like you can technically even just watch it as a miniseries because
chapter by chapter.
Yeah, exactly. But they just didn't release it that way.
Watch it all the way through.
Yeah, because then the first few parts are boring in comparison if you watch it and then stop.
Exactly.
Because it's build up to the more exciting stuff that comes later. Yeah. So we've talked about the characters, stuff they cut out. I'm trying to think. What else is there to really...
Can I bring up something?
Yeah.
Superman Frost Breath.
Oh my god.
That was funny. where he was like not impressed, and then he just freezes Steppenwolf's axe.
Yeah.
See, that's a Superman line. I don't know if Gabe, have you seen the new Superman show?
Superman and Lois.
No.
You're talking about?
It's actually it's actually a really good and accurate Superman.
That's what I think you were telling me
keep
that.
Hearing that.
Yeah, I've only seen the scene where like
maybe
he gives the kid his thing back and he's like, "Cool suit." He's like, "Thanks, my mom made it for me." And then he flies away.
That's all I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that suit is not the suit in the show.
Okay.
It's actually like a really nice suit.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So Tristan, you said you wanted to bring something up.
I was gonna say though, since this movie has pretty much taken a lot of bad and made it really good, there's one thing that we haven't talked about, which is Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah.
That is something
that
we've
scene
been
was so good.
Yeah.
Of them going back and forth with each other on that bridge.
That's comparable to like Injustice, like the way that they set up that story. I can't remember if it's Injustice or Injustice 2.
The thing about Superman, like
when
Lois gets killed and he goes crazy.
He goes and kills the Joker, and that's what like starts the whole Injustice thing. Like it's that sort of build up that got me so excited to see the Apocalypse style Justice League. And
there's a scene where I mean they imply, you know, obviously there's the Superman with the red eyes floating over the Justice League thing, and the scene which is like almost like it gave me like Thanos vibes, where Superman is like, I guess, over like what we can assume is Lois's dead body, and Darkseid like puts his hand on his shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Stuff like that makes me want to see that story so bad.
The entire movie, because I am detached from DC stories, and I don't know how this would be received by actual like big time fans, but like as soon as they turned to like let's resurrect Superman, I was like, please bring him back like evil and pissed that they brought him back, you know, like a let me die kind of thing, you know. So I wanted to see him bad like as soon as they brought him back from the start, but then they jumped to that like dark future thing.
Yeah, there's definitely been
in that,
and I'm like, let's go. This is all I want.
They had 3 Justice League movies planned: Justice League Apocalypse War, which would have started with the Legion of Doom and
then Endgame,
and with Darkseid taking over and killing Lois.
Justice League finale.
Justice League Dark would have been, which is the third one, would have been that group like Joker, Batman, Deathstroke, Flash, going on their mission.
So Joker. What I was saying, I feel like they redeemed him in a way. Like they definitely made me like Jared Leto's Joker in that one scene.
I wouldn't say I still wouldn't say I think he's a good Joker.
I don't think he's up there, but
I think
better.
He's much better than he was before.
I feel like the Joker has to have scenes with Batman, and that's what makes him a good Joker.
Well, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix didn't.
Dude, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing.
But
he had scenes with you know other Wayne
with Murray.
I mean, he had one scene with young Bruce, but like,
yeah,
I think it was just Suicide Squad kind of misunderstood what makes the Joker intimidating.
Yeah,
Suicide Squad kind of just misunderstood everything.
Yeah, but just
the only thing they got right was Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
the only thing they tried on,
and that's the only thing that's pretty much continued through the other movies. I mean, other than of course, Jared Leto's Joker coming back.
Yeah.
But
I just appreciated that they brought him back to give him a second chance.
Yeah, and I loved like how like chilling his interaction with Batman was.
Yeah,
because it's like obviously you get the sense that Batman was pushed over the edge because he's like, I will fucking kill you.
Yes, that actually was like,
don't get me wrong.
That was my like oh shit
that
moment
second
watching
F-word
that
in the
movie.
movie was what gave it the R rating. I guarantee you it was that.
But then there's also just like the stuff about like, why would you send a boy wonder to do a man's job? And I was like, oh shit,
whoa.
That's another thing that I want to see.
When Batman was like, LOL, Harley Quinn was dying in my arms, and she wants me to kill you slow. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Can I see this?
Probably not.
This is a movie I would watch.
But it definitely makes this movie way more exciting.
Yeah.
There's just so much. I took so much more away from this movie generally than I did with Justice League. I came away from the 2017 version just being like, it was fine. It was obviously trying to be the Avengers and just couldn't quite do it. It didn't really fit, but it's like, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It didn't like make me angry. It was just like, okay, that was a thing and now it's over.
That was a movie.
Yeah, but like. I mean, it's like, I literally have pretty much not thought about that movie since I saw it until, the Snyder Cut was coming out. And even then, I wasn't really even excited for the Snyder Cut because I was like, I mean, obviously there'll be stuff that's different. It'll probably be better, but I can't imagine it being that much better than the original one. And it was. It was leaps and bounds. It was... I would say infinitely better. And I literally I watched it the day it came out and I still have not stopped thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mark of a good not only just a good movie but a good comic book movie. It's just, afterwards you think about it a lot. You want sequels, you want the universe to be expanded upon. You're just talking about like obviously moments with the Flash and Cyborg and just everything.
Yeah. I've never been more excited for like DC stuff than Marvel things until this, because the potential they have to like grow from this. I want them to do what Marvel has yet to done and actually get some crossovers with the TV shows, because like they hinted at that in with the Flash, the two Flashes.
And they can do it. Like they're getting to the point where their TV shows are getting movie style suits.
Yeah.
Like the Flash suit's finally like up to par, and then Superman's suit is a movie style suit. It looks like the one from what's the Superman movie?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. It looks like that suit.
I've
just
seen,
on a different guy.
Mm-hmm. It's like that's what I want them to do with the Flash movie. If they're not gonna go with their own internal like cast and crew, I want them to start to branch out to the TV shows.
Like they're doing the whole HBO Max like universe, but they've already said Flash and Stargirl are going to cross over. And Flash is a very low budget show while Stargirl is very high. Mm-hmm. So I'm just imagining like what they can do with that budget, bringing Flash in there.
Mm-hmm. Tristan, did you want to say something earlier?
Yeah, it was funny that Gabe brought up that he wasn't like, he's never been like more hyped about DC stuff than Marvel stuff before, because it just reminded me about how in our last podcast about WandaVision, I was literally just talking about how I've just kind of like chilled out on my hype for Marvel, and like I'm just kind of like taking whatever comes and I'm just rolling with it. I'm not like super hyped for anything that Marvel's setting up anymore, because I had that moment, but now it's like the Snyder Cut just got me like,
could it be the age
back
of
into
DC?
that. Yeah, I'm like, okay, am I like about to be hyped for future DC projects? No, because they've been canceled.
Well, I'd say while you wait, there's a lot of DC content that you can go and watch that's very good.
I started watching Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I mostly am watching it because I wanted to watch Superman the Animated Series, and that comes after.
Yeah, it's
So,
Chris.
but
Chris were
still
talking, and he's like, "I'm gonna watch Superman the Animated Series." I'm like, "Have you seen the Batman one yet?"
I've seen Mask of the Phantasm, and that's it. But, yeah, I've always thought that DC kind of had the leg up over Marvel when it came to the stuff outside of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think just now, generally, it's a really good time to be a fan of comic book universes and comic book movies. Just because, like, you know, a few years ago, the Snyder Cut even being released seemed like a pipe dream.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have it and it's as good as it is, I have hope for future DC projects because obviously now that Release the Snyder Cut has been a thing, now Restore the Snyderverse is, like, huge.
Yes.
So, and, like,
Hopefully.
people like me who didn't really care before, like, I care now.
Yep.
And I want to see the story
I
continue.
care more. You made me care
Yeah.
now.
You made me care about this.
You made me
stupid
care
little
about the
Snyderverse.
DCEU.
You've made me want to go into the Snyderverse.
Into the Snyderverse.
I just want Lucifer to show up in the DCEU.
I mean, he showed up in the CW, so he
Yeah.
can show up anywhere.
That was the funniest thing when they went to Earth 666.
Oh my god.
That's his Earth.
Oh my god.
But it's really weird because, you know, like, that means that there's Greek gods and then there's also, like, Christianity. On a different Earth.
Nothing is off limits.
No.
Like
DC can do
Tom
anything.
Holland said in Spider-Man Far From Home, he's like, Thor was a myth, and now we study him in my physics class.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just these comic book universes are getting more expansive than ever before.
These timelines are getting confusing.
DC has the
I'm-
power to actually do, like, insane crossovers and these things that fans have been
Yeah, and they've done it more than Marvel has. I mean,
Yeah.
Marvel has had massive crossovers within the MCU, but DC's actually done crossovers across all of their media.
Yeah.
So, I
The
think
two
just
Flash's meeting was
That was-
insanely funny.
just going forward in general, I just think it's the prospects for the future, even though there's obviously complications and things that have been canceled and that's stuff to be disappointed about. I'm still hopeful for the future, especially now that this movie has been released and people are reacting to it in huge numbers.
Yeah.
So
I hope this inspires other projects that
Yeah.
have longer cuts to come out.
yeah, I want to see
Revenge of the Sith.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to leave this here on the table.
Mhm.
So I remember about 2 years ago, we were talking about Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
And how Steve would never be in Smash, and I'm like, guys, it's going to happen, and I'm telling you this, and it happened. I'm gonna put it here now. I think the Snyderverse will be restored.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I think it would be really dumb if they didn't.
Yeah.
Especially, by the way, Nick is sitting in a chair that's very squeaky.
He has
It's
not
not
been
farting.
farting.
There's been a couple of moments that I've caught where it sounds pretty distinctly like a fart. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Yo,
At the very end of this song, if you've
made it this far and you've been kind
if
of
you've stuck through the farts.
like is this guy farting? I just
No.
want to let you know that I appreciate you, and the answer is no.
Yes,
It was
I
only
am
one.
farting.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that they'll restore the Snyderverse. I think it might take a change of management at Warner Brothers to make it happen, but like after everything that's happened, like I feel like if not anytime soon, sometime in the future, I feel like we'll see the conclusion of this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I've pretty much talked about everything I wanted to talk about with this movie, unless anyone else has anything else to bring up. We can do if not, we can do our we can go around and do our final thoughts and close out the show, but
Well, today
before that, does anyone else have
this podcast is dropping on a Friday, so you know if you're watching it today,
hopefully
be sure to check out the Skater 799 stream that is today. We stream every Monday and Friday. Let's go.
I'm asking for your thoughts on the movie, not a plug.
think
We
we
do
can talk about the
we do the
movie for-
plugs after we do
Hey,
the
we can
outro.
talk
We're doing that now, I
Talk
guess.
about the movie for 2 hours. I think we're all done, Chris.
All right. Well,
I think that about sums it up. I'm
Basically.
Tristan from Tristan's channel, or twitch.tv/Maroon Shadows. Come like, comment, and subscribe on
He
all of
said
my
come.
posts.
What the hell?
Nick, you're off the podcast. Don't even bother linking.
Don't even
socials.
bother going to Nick's channel because there's nothing on it.
There really is nothing.
There used to be one good
Every
video.
time I post something, they see it, and I'm like, that's not supposed to be
He
on
posted
there.
something for a school project, and I was like, oh wow, new Captain Knock video just dropped. But you've been streaming on Twitch a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, not recently, because school fucking sucks. Let's
Well,
go.
I'll put a link to that anyway. I can put a link to whatever you want, but
Yeah,
He guest stars on other people's streams.
I'm
Yeah.
on every
True.
stream all the time.
yeah. You can find me at youtube.com/Chris Trinary and twitch.tv/Chris Trinary, or on Twitter at bagel_Chris, because like we talked about last time, somebody took the Twitter handle Chris
Yes,
Trinary
of course.
and has never used it
Sue
and never
them.
will, but Twitter won't give me the handle,
And
so
someone took
You know what
Skater
you need to do?
799
Yep.
and has never used it and never will.
hack it.
Pull a Bruce Wayne and just buy Twitter.
I
Bought it. I bought the bank.
I bought
I
the
bought
bank.
the bank.
I bought the Twitter.
I used
Gabe?
the Twitter to destroy the.
Well, I
Twitter.
mean, you kind of did your plug as a joke.
I'm
but-
going to give this movie.
Oh yeah, let's give it a number.
I'm gonna give the Snyder Cut, right?
Mhm.
14 Kryptonian planets exploding out of 12.
Oh,
It's,
dark, but I mean,
I'm trying to.
okay. So are we going back to the classic
Yeah,
Unstable
we're doing
Opinions
that.
nonsense ratings? How many members of the Justice League are there? There's
It's like
Superman,
6, 5.
Superman,
Seven.
Batman, Wonder
Room
Woman.
for more.
6, but there's room for more.
the official number is
Wait,
7.
okay. So there's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, the Flash, and okay.
And Green
so
Lantern.
I'm gonna give
Martian
it.
Manhunter
I'm gonna give it.
was
Martian
one.
Manhunter.
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 6 members of the Justice League, and which member I'm leaving out, I'll leave up to interpretation.
I'll give it 9 Joss Whedons out of 10 Avengers movies.
There's only...
Shut up,
I don't
Nick.
feel
This
right
doesn't make
using
any
Joss
sense.
Whedon as a positive thing for this movie.
Okay, fine.
Joss-
It's
It should be-
12 Snyders out of 8
Cuts.
Joss Whedons, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if that would make
criticize
sense
my
either.
rating. Freaking
I'll
Kryptonian
give-
I'll
suns.
give it 2 flashes out of the Speed Force.
What?
2 flashes
Two
out of
flashes
the
out of this.
entire
All right,
Speed
this
Force.
has
Are you
gone on
kidding
too
me?
long.
I mean,
Thank you for
Wait,
watching
does Gabe want to
Unstable
do? Gabe
Opinions.
still hasn't properly plugged his channel. He threw
Hey,
everything off
guys.
the rails.
Oh, no, I was-
Go follow
is-
Skater799 on Twitch. He goes and lives on Monday, Monday, Friday. And Tristan also streams sometime on Tristan's account.
No,
And then
Twitch.tv/Maroon
Chris
Shadows.
says he's a content creator, but posts 1 video every 2 months, so go subscribe to him at Chris Trinary.
Quality over
And Nick
quantity.
doesn't even make videos.
Anyway,
And I'll make
Okay,
you
bye.
websites if you send me an email and pay me a lot of money. I like money, please.
You'll find
I think
all of
I
our
did it
links
right.
down in the description. Thank you so much
Thanks to
for
me.
listening to us.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us this far. I know it's been
Yeah.
a bit of a train wreck in the
especially
final
towards the end. But hopefully,
Unlike the Snyder Cut.
unlike the Snyder
This
Cut,
has been
It's
a train
only
wreck.
got
Yeah.
better.
and unlike the Snyder Cut, there will be more.
Oh?
Hopefully, within the next few weeks, if not, definitely sometime in the future. But until then,
Restore the unstable verse.
excuse you.
Why?
It's not Unstable Opinions with Nick unless there's a little bit of
No,
natural
so
gas
some-
in there somewhere.
We already have
Anyway.
the floating chair.
This has been Unstable Opinions. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next time. Until then, have a great rest of your day or night or whatever.
We'll see you next time on Total Drama Island.
Peace out.
Bye.